We're live. Hello, everyone. It is Manifest Monday, the best day of the week. So we are Purpose Pioneers, and at Purpose Pioneers, we believe that when we find meaning in our work and everything we do, we experience real-time fulfillment. And you know what that means? We're not waiting for a paycheck. We're not waiting for summer vacation. We're not waiting for a promotion or a corner desk. We are aligning all of our actions with our purpose, so we experience meaning all the time. So every day or every Monday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, we have a fellow Purpose Pioneer to come talk about how and why they manifested this incredible dream life. So today we have Jesse Wolfe, one of our dear friends. He is a rock star. He's basically a celebrity in Orlando.
Oh,
I know you like to say D-list celeb.
I'm like, what's lower than D-list? It'd be like K-list, J-list. I'll be a J-list celebrity.
Perfect. So our J-list celebrity, Jesse, he owns an incredible startup company called Oh Dang Hummus. He was featured on Shark Tank Season 7, where he actually got offered a deal by one of the sharks. And we are here to talk about the secret to being unstoppable. Jesse has exhibited an incredible amount of resiliency, belief, conviction, and just an incredible attitude towards this crazy thing that we call living in purpose. So we're going to talk about what that means to us and how we can really harness that to be successful in the purpose sphere. So Jesse, just come on and tell a little bit about your story and how you got to sitting in this chair right now.
Yeah, boy, it's going to make a sweet movie. That's my goal one day.
I know, I'm excited.
A sweet movie with it. Kind of the most random thing. So I started Oh Dang Hummus in college. I had a business plan class where you had to come up with an idea, and I didn't want to really help write a business plan for like the 19th bar downtown Orlando, which is like what the common like college kids want to do. So I was tinkering this idea I came up with while I had my wisdom teeth pulled out of a hummus company. I had my wisdom teeth pulled out like right before that semester started that spring, and I couldn't eat anything, right?
Yeah.
So my cheeks are swollen and just in a lot of pain. So I got tired of somehow I got tired of eating ice cream and milkshakes. It was more of my hips asking me to change to something else. So I started eating hummus as a healthier alternative, and I loved it. You know, it was really good. But what I was just so perplexed with how they only had like 5 flavors, and no matter what company made it, there was 5 flavors.
Right.
And I was like, this is such a cool product. Why is there no like Ben and Jerry's of hummus? Why are there not like more fun flavors? So I made hummus that week because I was bored at home recovering. And I made like all these different flavors. And my friends were eating it, my family were eating it, and they were like, yo, this is like really great stuff. And, you know, I kind of sat back and looked at it. So I used that idea in that business plan class. And then I watched like the whole class fight over like joining my team, which is kind of funny, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah. And then I just saw a market for it, and we researched it through that semester and seen just how big the industry was for hummus and how fast it was growing, and how there was like such a massive, like one company leading the show. And, you know, that's just the perfect breeding ground for disruption.
You know what I love that you've said in the past? You're bringing people from the salsa aisle, the dips and chip aisle, to the hummus aisle.
Yeah, that's kind of the purpose of our company. You know, we've navigated, you know, the waters of just being like a really fun, like hummus company to having a purpose, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And we want to offer products. We want to take some of our favorite products that we eat every day that are full of preservatives and fake ingredients, and we want to offer a real product, you know, that's plant-based, vegetable-based, health-free that you can be proud to serve. So, you know, if you're used to eating like the canned, you know, nacho cheese dip over in the chip aisle, we have a solution that is 10 times more healthy for you. It's not full of preservatives, and you could feel good eating it or giving it to your kids or friends or family. And that's one of our big purposes.
So I love that you talk about how your company is a purpose-driven company.
Yeah.
So from the very beginning, when it started as just a college project, how did you bring your authenticity to the table and create that purpose for yourself and for people buying your product?
So I'm a big proponent of buying through brands that do good, right?
Yes.
I think we can all agree that there's companies out there that we will not buy from because of something they've done or affected or whatever. And when I thought about my company, I'm a people person.
You sure are?
Yeah, you know.
He is.
I'm very much a people
He's
person.
a comedian too.
I talk a lot. So, you know, I love people. I love relationships. And I like that trust factor you get with building a relationship.
Absolutely.
So when I started to sell Oh Dang Hummus, my first thought was, it's one thing to give your fellow broke college friends free food. They'll eat almost anything, by the way. But I said, I need someone to pull their wallet out, right? Just like this. I need someone to pull their wallet out and then give me $5 out of it.
Yep.
And how do you do that? You know, well, I was too small to go to like a retail store.
Right.
I was too small, really to to approach really any restaurants for a food service.
Mm-hmm.
It was perishable, so we couldn't sell it online, which was not the best idea with starting a food business, let me tell you. And then the fourth option was, we'll sell it myself.
Okay.
And I had to find a channel for that, and the channel was Orlando, Florida farmers markets.
Yes, I remember the olden days.
Yeah, the good old days. Shout out farmers markets. So it was really the coolest thing ever, though. And again, it happened for a purpose. Like if I was able to sell a product online, we might not have amassed the following we did so quickly.
Right.
Because at the farmers market, we poured our blood, sweat, and tears every weekend in 3 markets. But it gave us a chance to get real-time feedback on our product. We made tweaks and had flavors and could get instant feedback, change the pricing. Most importantly, start building a relationship.
Yep, relationship currency. We were just talking about
that.
Yeah,
you're trading, people in their attention as a currency, right?
Right.
So, and if it wasn't for that, we would not have gotten. If we didn't have I think at the time when we first used our social media presence, if you will, we had 1,060 followers on Facebook, which at the time was huge for us.
Right.
And we had a viral moment, right? We wanted to get in front of Publix grocery stores for the first time. Again, we're a small company, but we're really popular in Orlando farmers markets. So we used our social media following of 1,060 people, and we said, "Hey guys, we're going to do an IPO, an initial Publix offering."
Oh.
And we wanted to get Publix attention.
That is clever.
Yeah, we were pretty proud of it. So we wanted to get their attention to invite us in to pitch. And at the time, full discretion, we had no idea what we were doing. At all.
I think that's a common theme.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. We were just we're going to get in there and nothing's going to stop us. So we sent out, I had one of my team members at the time make up a little flyer, and I don't know why we thought of this, but make up the flyer, and they were going to print the flyer off and take it into the grocery stores. And you only need a handful of requests to kind of get the buyer's attention.
Right.
But we had a couple people write us back immediately, go, "Hey, we'd love to help. Can we just go on their Facebook page?" We're like, yeah, I guess that'll work. Why not? So, not really thinking it through. Well, we also asked people to share it. Hey, we're doing a good thing. We're really trying.
Sharing is powerful.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So we let it rip, tater chip, as we say. And about 6 hours later, we get on and it was shared 2,000 or 3,000 times.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, we're joking. We're like, this is catching traction. Well, we had some more friends that were huge on Twitter, and we didn't realize the friends we had such a big Twitter following. So they get on there and hey, our fellow Orlando entrepreneur friends here need some help, starting a business, trying to, if you want, support them and go to their Facebook page and show them some love. I think we, within 24 hours, I don't know how many comments we actually got, but I know we're the first company in their history to lock up and crash their Facebook page. So, and that was just the sheer power of those relationships, right? Networking and just being good to our customers and telling them and letting them, showing them that their opinion mattered. If they said they didn't like our brownie batter hummus, we changed it. And, they felt like they were part of the story, right?
Right, as they are. So, Jess, you won the UCF Joust competition, so that's a big pitch competition at the University of Central Florida.
Yep.
You've been at the farmers markets, which then led you to Publix, which led you to Shark Tank, which led you to an investment. Now you're in Walmart. I mean, he is killing it. What were the keys that really led you through this really long and difficult journey? Because it looks beautiful on the outside, right? It's all rainbows and butterflies, but on the inside, I mean, you're having nights where you're freaking out. You're about to go, you might go bankrupt. You might not be able to get that next order out. I know you had a crazy story about all your labels were wrong one time.
Oh my God.
So what are some of the keys? Is it belief in yourself? Is it this undying determination? Is it purpose? What led you through this crazy journey?
It's my thing. I'm not a super religious person.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up Christian and went to church and stuff. But I definitely believe there's somebody always kind of watching over you. I think we're put on this planet, each of us with a purpose, right? Purpose pioneers. 100%.
Very fitting.
Yeah, very fitting. This works well. I think every one of us has, and I don't care who you are, of what level, caliber, or whatever you think your own dreams are.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are all embedded with something higher. In a meeting, and Beautiful. I think so many people doubt themselves that oh, well, I feel like I'd want to do this, but I'll never get there.
Right.
And that's so sad because they don't even take a try or a stab at it.
Right.
Especially the power of social media and YouTube these days. If you want to be a movie star, you got a camera on your computer. I mean, we're right here. There's a camera.
We have a platform.
Yeah.
We have a platform.
Yeah. For nothing, almost free. If you have a computer, you can do anything you want. And I think you just have to decide like, I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
And, I look at everything. This is kind of my farm background, if you will, growing up on a farm in Ohio. Everything's a cow, right? And if you want to eat the whole cow, you got to eat it one bite at a time. You don't eat the whole thing at once, right?
Right.
So if you just never give up taking those small bites,
yeah.
no matter if, you get caught up at one of them, and you just got to look for a new way around it, right? And eventually the idea is you consume the whole thing, right?
Right.
So, there's highs and lows. I learned that very quickly with starting any business. But there's always a solution. I don't care like what has happened, what will happen. There's always a solution to every problem out there, but you have to be willing to either, when you do fall, get back up quickly, right? And dust yourself off. Resilience.
Incredible amounts of resilience.
Yeah. And not even just starting a business. Anything you do at life, you're going to fail at some point in time, and you have the two options. You can lay there and cry and quit. Right. But like one thing I remember as a kid is like, you're already in pain, right? You're already feeling pain. So wouldn't you rather push a little further and feel what that success feels like?
Right.
Or do you want to sit there and just sulk in that pain?
Something really great that my dad said to me, he said, Al, you're never going to be able to experience real success if you don't feel the deepest depths of failure and despair. And I mean, when I was 18, 19, when I came out to college, I'm from New Jersey. I mean, I felt so lonely. I was like, what is that? What is in store for me? And I know what it feels like to be really at the bottom. So now when I'm at the top, I'm like throwing up rainbows all the time.
Yeah.
Literally.
And you're so right. Like when you hit those milestones, right? And it's not fair. I honestly bad for someone. We'll use Kylie Jenner, for example, right? Here's someone, not a fan of her, I'm not a fan of you. However, I do respect you because here's somebody that, was in essence born with a golden spoon in her mouth, right? And then she goes on to create this $400 million makeup line in like record time, right? So like kudos to her. She's a very savage entrepreneur, right?
Absolutely.
But I feel bad for her because she doesn't understand what real success should feel like.
Yeah. Fulfillment.
Yeah. That point where you're almost done, that point where like you almost fail, that point where you do fail.
Yeah.
Those days when you sit, in your room crying because it hurts so much, because it's so tough, or that, those days when you want to give up, that makes that success so much better.
And that's what we talk about. So we talk about fulfillment, not happiness. Happiness is a mood.
Yeah.
Fulfillment is a state of being.
Yeah, right.
Because we're, the purpose pioneers, me, Tom, Angela, we feel fulfilled all the time, but there's days where I'm overwhelmed. I'm freaking out to them. I'm like, I don't know what's in store. I'm crying, but then the next day I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
So we can have all these insane, crazy moods, but if we're at the end of the day, we know our purpose and we feel that sense of greatness, and I can't even formulate words sometimes, but that's that real fulfillment, that true fulfillment.
I've never done a drug in my life, right? My drug of choice is entrepreneurship.
Wow, that's powerful.
It's powerful, which I joke sometimes that probably other drugs are cheaper, and easier.
That's the most expensive one.
Yeah, and probably easier on your body and mind. But everyone, you got to find that passion and what drives you, propels you.
Yep.
And when you get, like for me, that first taste of watching something I created really out of my, apartment in college,
right?
The first person that handed me money to buy my first tub of hummus, it was like, boom. Like I was like, it was such a rush, of someone going, oh my God. Like I just remember watching that tub of hummus leave, right? Like down the farmer's market. And I go, somebody just bought that.
Like they believe in what you believe in. And we were talking about this before the show. People don't buy products, they buy feelings.
Right.
That hummus made them feel a certain way. So I'd love you to touch on that. How Oh Dang Hummus makes people feel.
So I love food, obviously. But
this is his Jesse humor. It's amazing.
I love food because it's such a catalyst. Yes. Right? It brings people together.
It does.
Right? I mean, every time we hang out with friends, you're
eating food
or drinking a craft beer or something. Every time you're with your family, you're more than likely eating food, More
than you should.
Yeah, preach that. So, I think food is really cool. And what kind of saddens me is like where the state of our food is in the United States. There's a lot of countries that still view food as a break time. Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's a time to take a break and enjoy a meal. And I feel like our society right now, we're so go, that we're forgetting to enjoy meals. And so many people eat food, especially health food, because, it's good for me. It hits my macros. It doesn't taste the best, but I don't have time to worry about it.
Right.
So like our thing is, I want you to have like what's your favorite? What's a favorite food of yours?
Chipotle.
Okay, Chipotle. When you eat Chipotle, what comes to mind? Like what makes it feel?
It's warm. It makes me feel like really good and whole.
Right.
And I feel like
it's like a comfort blanket comes
it's
over
comfort.
you.
Yeah. And I go with my friend. I go with Tom like every day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this routine because we go there, we talk about life, we eat our food. So
Right.
it's an experience.
Yeah.
It's a feeling and experience.
Now, when you're in a really upset, bad day, what's that food you turn to?
Like ice cream.
Okay,
chocolate.
ice cream, right. and there's these foods that just comfort us, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to bring is like, there's no health food. Like, oh my God, such a rough day. Please hand me the rice cakes. Like it just doesn't exist, like it doesn't happen. But like, that's what I'm trying to bridge that gap of is like food should be healthy and good for you. But we took the time at Odang Hummus to make it taste good.
Yeah.
So when you eat our hummus, we wanted to catapult you back to like those memories. Like we have a buffalo wing hummus, we have a queso hummus, all coming out. We want those to taste good, but we also want you to feel good about eating at the same time.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
You're allowing people to buy with their emotions.
Right.
Which is how people buy.
And then not feel guilty for buying with their emotions.
Right. Because it's good for you.
Right. So we have a lot of fun with that, So, we always joke at the office, it's literally you can have your cake and eat the whole damn thing too.
Literally.
I mean, like, it's like literally, so it's really cool. And that's something we strive for. We're not a diet food company. I don't see ourselves as a real like vegan health food company. Mm-hmm. We're a better for you food company.
Ooh.
With changing the way the society of food runs.
That is beautiful. And you know what? That doesn't limit you.
Right.
You're a better for what is it? Better
for you food company. Yeah.
So now you don't have to just be hummus.
Right.
You can be anything in the future.
And more to come. You have no idea. We're working on all kinds of cool stuff right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. We just needed that platform, and it's been a rocky road to finally get up on this stage. And in 2018, if all goes well, is going to be more than I could have ever dreamed of.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, just absolutely huge. But a lot of people think, well, you made it, when you get to that level. Like 2018, there would be some people that go, you made it.
Yeah.
But me, I'm like, I'm just starting.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
Yeah, like now that I have like that stage presence, it's going to be so much more epic, the things that we can do, because, I'm a kid from Orlando, and I'm upsetting some of the biggest food companies in the world. I mean, we're getting, letters and emails and tweets and stuff from these guys. They know about us, and that to me is exciting,
But living in purpose allows you to drive change.
Yeah.
You're giving these guys a run for their money, but then they're going to look up to you and say, wow,
yeah.
They're going to get over it. They're going to have their hissy fit. But then in a couple months or a year, they're going to say, you know what, let's work with him.
Well, let's leave it like this, right? Let's say theoretically, we're working our tails off and we're pushing for this change, and we get on that big stage and we fail, right? We fizzle out and just drop off the face of the earth because of funding or something, right? It's still enough of an impact to make those big guys change.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, consumers are demanding what we have.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously the big guys go, we either have to, and Amazon did this the best, right? So many retailers slept on Amazon, and now Amazon, whatever industry they even say they're going to touch, that industry shutters just like hardcore. Right. So that's kind of what's fun. Like a lot of people think like, well, I'll never get big enough to make an impact. You don't have to be that big.
Right.
And even if your company doesn't make it, you're going to leave a legacy of, I was the reason that Kraft took this preservative out of their food.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I kind of see it as a win-win. Like when I went to this company, I joke, we're either going to be a rocket ship and it's going to go to the moon, or we're just going to explode into a ball of glory and fall right back to the earth. But either way, we're going to be a really cool, vision.
At the end of the day, you have already left a huge impact, and you're only climbing up the purpose ladder.
Trying,
in our eyes.
Yeah, definitely trying for sure.
So I'd love to we were talking about how when we're in college, we can really do and be anything we want, right?
Yeah.
So what are some tips for anyone watching, if they're in college or if they just want to start a company, if they want to get out of their regular job, what can they do to start in terms of believing in themselves and getting over the hurdle of their own mind?
I think whether it's entrepreneurship or just a goal, let's say, I don't know, a weight loss goal or a goal to save money, it's one of those things. Like think about anytime, I think we've all tried dieting at some point in time or eating better. You immediately go out and you spend $100 on stuff you didn't need, and you end up, failing 3 days later, right? Because you just went all in too hard in the paint. You didn't baby step into it, right? Change, you can't really do a drastic change and expect it to stick. So, and entrepreneurship's 100% that way, in my opinion. So many people are like, oh my God, I want to be an entrepreneur. I gotta be the next Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
I gotta change all of social media. And then they sit there and they beat themselves up about this new invention or idea.
Right.
But I tell people, first off, step back and just start looking at the world in a different set of eyes.
Different perspective.
Yeah. The minute you can accept that, how many times in a day you go, wow, this sucks. I wish it was this way.
Right.
If you start recognizing those moments, you become way more aware of them.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And then, so that gets you first off thinking in a different mindset.
Yep.
Because people have this dream of well, I'm going to be a massive tech CEO, right? And then next thing you know, they own, a roofing company that's doing $40 million a year. It's what just happened?
Right.
But they found a hole, they found a niche, they found something they were passionate about, and then they own that business because of a problem.
Right.
So, if you find a problem, find a solution. It's very simple as far as that goes. But then the other thing is, don't go in the next day and let's say theoretically you want to start a roofing company.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing about roofing, right?
Me either.
Okay, so we're on that level. But let's say theoretically, you got hosed by a roofing company. They did a crap job. Their customer service was horrible. You're somebody needs to fix the roofing industry.
Mm-hmm.
Fix it, right? If it's
be that person.
Be that person. Be that change. And, so step one is not to go out and buy, a roofing truck and hire a roofing team. Step one is going, well, how many roofers are in Orlando, Florida, right? You use Google and you get on there and you figure out how many people are in that area. Then you figure out, well, who's doing it best and who's doing it worst.
Right.
And all this research for the first couple of weeks or months or whatever is free, right? But you're starting what they don't realize is they're not giving themselves credit. You're becoming an entrepreneur at that very moment.
Absolutely.
That moment
the day you say yes.
Yeah, the day you say yes, the moment you struck that keyboard,
yep,
you became an entrepreneur. And it's the follow through and the execution that makes the difference.
That's what I
from one entrepreneur to entrepreneur.
Ooh.
That's that difference, right? Is it's all about that follow through. So, when I started my food business, I could cook, I worked in restaurants, but nothing of hummus, now I'm in food retail, right? And when I worked in restaurants, I was a server, bartender, and
me too. Server life.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I was a salad chef and a cold side sous chef when I was way younger, in my teens.
Right.
But I had no experience at all selling food retail, but I was I have Google at my fingertips.
It's amazing.
And YouTube.
We have the world in our hands.
Yeah, literally this right here, your cell phone, you can do whatever you want with. We carry computers on us every single day.
And I think another thing too, you exemplified the power of action. You said, I have an idea. This might be crazy. I don't know what my future holds, but you had that undying determination to be someone, to do something, and that purpose that led you to where you're at today.
Yeah.
So I think you have to start, you got to just say, I'm going to do it. And there's no try, as Yoda says, no try, there's only do.
There's only do.
There's only do. So you have to believe in yourself. Jesse believes in himself, even on his most crappiest days. Crazy things happen to him. He always has a freaking story, but he believes in himself and what he's doing. And that can lead you to a fulfilling life.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
We have a question too. How did you pick the name O Dang Hummus? Great question.
I get that.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, I get that a lot. So I'm from Ohio, and I didn't know it when I moved to Orlando. We kind of have a little bit of an accent. It's more so I grew up in the farm town of Ohio.
Okay.
So I've got I said pop instead of soda.
All right.
So we have some Ohio lingo. So O Dang is kind of a little bit of a lingo up there. So when I was making hummus, I was just sitting there making a ton of it, and you're making the same recipe 20 times trying to make it better.
Right.
So if you get it right, I remember the one time I was eating it, I was like, oh dang, that's good. And I just kept saying, oh dang, it's getting better. My buddy's like, oh dang hummus, you say it enough, and I was like, oh dang, that's a catchy name, So it's funny because I still say it's in my vocabulary, and people now think I say it to be funny. But what they don't know is that's a word I use on a daily basis.
And I think you said your investors have a list of your lingo.
Yeah. I've got a Jesse lingo wall at the partner's office, which is pretty funny. So
this is what's cool though. He believes in being your authentic self. So his investors accept him for who he is. He doesn't have to conform. He doesn't have to, pretend to be someone that you're not. And I think authenticity has also allowed you to go on this incredible journey. Yeah,
it took, it's easy to say hey, just be you. It's easy to tell somebody that, but it's harder to actually do that because I don't, even to this day, I still sometimes will get self-conscious over what some people think.
Yeah. It's hard. We're human.
Yeah. And there's people you want to make proud and there's people you want to impress.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a revelation basically a few times in my life where it's I quit caring what certain people think. And then I'd move on. I'm like, oh my God, that was fun.
Yeah.
So I quit caring what other people think in this aspect of my life. And then
Right.
I'd move on. You know, and I mean, there still are some people in my life where I'm like, oh, why do you let them bother you?
Right. Yeah.
You know, but like, it's more fun to just express yourself and be yourself.
Yeah.
And since I remember, like, especially like coming out of like high school into college, I told myself going into college, like, yo, I'm going to be the real me, like no holds bar.
It's beautiful.
And I don't want to say I blew up. Like, I really found myself at that point in time and realized how fun life was, you know, once I stopped caring. So, you know, obviously, like, I hold a professional mannerism to me, you know, in essence, but
absolutely,
life's a lot more fun when you don't have boundaries, in essence.
It's beautiful.
You know? And you don't try and live in like that confinement of like the social norm.
Yeah.
I think that's it right there. Like
the social norm, what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to be.
Like theoretically, like when you graduate college, you're supposed to go work for a corporate company. Yeah. Right. Like that's never intrigued me.
No, me
you know?
either.
Yeah. So it's like when you're okay, like when you swallow that pill, like, oh God, I'm actually not going to care about that anymore. Mm-hmm. It's very like, you can breathe. They're like, this feels good. You know,
when I really started embracing, you know, who I really was as I was transforming from college Alex to Alex now, post college, I felt like I like broke free. Yeah. Like change just released.
Yeah. And like weights like lifted off you, you know?
And now I experience everything in abundance. People love me. They look up to me and they listen to my advice and, you know, they help me if I need help, like all kinds of incredible currencies besides just, you know, the normal currencies. And I love being myself and I surround myself around people who are themselves too. And it's amazing.
That's critical, right? Yeah. Like you have to, like, that's the other thing too. If you're going to do this, right? If you're going to, you know, be yourself and live the life you dream of, right? I can't tell you how critical it is to like surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yes.
Because
I preach this.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I remember when I started Odang Hummus, I was like, oh man, like everyone's gonna support me because like here I am starting a hummus company. Right. I got so much negative feedback. Like I quit a hell of a good job, you know, with a great company to chase this dream. And I had the people that supported me. And then I had the people that said they supported me. Right. And then I had the people that were like, you're just an idiot. But it wasn't these people. The people that said I was just an idiot were fuel. That was great, right? Yeah. The people that supported me were great. It was that middle bunch that were poisonous. Yeah. Because they want you to believe that, like, you know, hey, I support you and like what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But then they immediately turn around and like try to cut you down and belittle you and talk about you behind your back. And they want to secretly see you fail. You know, so there are friends. Like I was telling somebody this the other day, I lost a lot of great close friends, right? Because they're, you know, they thought I was blowing them off or standing them up, or I didn't care anymore, and they weren't looking at like what I was telling them as like, hey, I'm literally just on this Friday night. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm up till 2:00 in the morning working. Right. You know, they thought here I was like just standing them up, blowing them off, and you know they hated me for that. So you lose a lot of people when you take a stand. You know, and it's true. And I mean, look at some of the greatest leaders. Oh yeah, I mean in the world, right? I mean, you know, but. It came kind of full circle when I was on Shark Tank. You really, I seen a lot of people come back like, oh, I know you could do it, buddy. I knew you could do it. That was my favorite moment because there's so many people that like hurt me in the past and like didn't actually believe in me. And that was my first time ever I got to go, no, well, go F yourself. You know what I mean? Like you were never there for me. You know, you were never a good person. You never had good intention, you know? Right. There were people that doubted me that came back. They're like, oh my God, like I'm proud of you. Yeah. I respect those people. You know what I mean? Like that was nice. You know, like of course not everyone's going to believe in your dream and that's respectable. That's true. But the ones that like try to sabotage or, you know, hurt me and my vision anyway, like I just put those people out to the side and just never talk to them again. I'm really happy we got into this line of conversation because this isn't the glamorous, you know, sexy stuff. And it's true. As you pursue your purpose and your dreams, you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people that are projecting, you know, their fears out onto you and saying hurtful things. What was the one thing that allowed you to overcome all this the negativity? How'd you break through that? You know, I can sit here and tell you like, you know, I did this, and this, but at the end of the day, some of them still get through. Yeah. You know, like it's so funny. I just got an email the other day on our company email that was forwarded to me by like one of my team members. And I make them forward all the negative ones to me because I enjoy reading them. Yeah. And this one, I just kind of sat there and I stared at my computer for about 10 minutes and it said, you know, to Jesse Wolfe, you know, it came in through our company email and it said, you're an absolute failure. That's all it said. Oh my God. And I'm like, first, you know, the process was this. I was like, somebody took time out of their day to come to my website, right? So I was on their mind, right?
Yeah.
Then they took secondary time out of their day to write me an email that all it said was, "You're an absolute failure." Then I sat there for about 30 minutes, and they disrupted my day, but not in the way they wanted to.
Right.
I just kind of sat there and reflected on like how much our society can suck.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel bad for me. Like, my feelings were not hurt. I thought it was comical.
Right.
But like, somebody out there is in pain.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how we see it. So, like,
Yeah.
that's coming from a hurtful, they're pain, they're experiencing pain inside.
And it's like, is it a jealousy thing? I mean, like, I don't know what there's to be jealous of. I mean, like, I've gone through hell and back for this thing.
Yeah, I know you have.
You know, and like, yeah, I mean, like, I think we can all attest to that, right? And I think most entrepreneurs do. But it's like, what are you jealous of? Like, nobody gave me a check for $10 million to start a business. You know what I mean? Like, I ground this thing from like the very beginning. You know, it's like I feel bad for that person. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like, but again, there's still some comments that get through to you that do twinge you like right in the heart.
Yeah.
And you kind of give yourself a minute to like, oh man, you know, take a breath, you know, and like I like to sit there and think things through. Yeah. Just allow myself to kind of process it. And then you move on. You know, I mean, it's one of those things where you know, if you're going down a rapid, right, you're going to hit rocks. Right. You might get hung up on a rock, but you're going to stand on that rock, or you're going to get off, put your boat back in the water, and keep going. Right. Yeah. You just got to keep down the river.
That's amazing. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Any final thoughts you want to give to our viewers?
Oh man,
I know you got a lot in there.
Yeah, I was there so much. I'll tell you, I'll make it simple. You know, you only have one life. You know, and no one's in charge of your happiness but you. You know, and I think that's critical that you always keep in mind. Don't live your life for everyone else. Mm-hmm. You know, don't try to make everybody happy, because at the end of the day, I don't care how hard you try, you're not going to make everybody happy.
Very true. And
the sooner you can accept that, the sooner your own happiness will be better and your own life will feel better and more fulfilled. I feel like so many people get just caught up in this downward spiral because nobody is happy or likes them. Yeah. And no one should be that upset. You know what I mean? Like, life's going to get you down. Life's going to throw you curveballs. Stuff's going to happen. But at the end of the day, you have the power to change that right now. You know, you got to keep fighting. And if you want it bad enough, just go chase it. So whether that's a goal, a dream, you know, whatever, start today. You know, everyone puts stuff off, but I mean, just the smallest thing. You know, I mean, just even Googling an industry you're interested in, you'll feel so much more excited about that opportunity.
Or going to that next, even if you don't want to start a company, if you want to have this goal that it's out into the distance, go to that event. Yeah. Make that phone call. Do that thing that's been on your to-do list forever.
Visit your competitor. You know, I mean, like, there's so many things you could do that don't cost that do not cost any time, any money, you know, or are so simplistic, and they're right there in front of you. Just do it. You know what I mean? Like, stop making excuses. Instead of spending your Saturday afternoon sleeping until noon or 1 o'clock. Or binging Netflix.
Do those things.
Be Netflix. Yeah. Write your own story. Make your own movie. You know?
Don't watch Netflix. Be Netflix.
Don't watch Netflix. Be Netflix.
That's amazing. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this show today. I think
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think Jesse really did give us incredible keys to being unstoppable. It's believing in yourself, talking and acting with conviction, living in your full authentic self, and starting today. So if you have something on your to-do list or you have a goal you want to achieve, do it today on today's Manifest Monday.
Starts on Monday.
So our closing line, we love to say, the only way to truly live in fulfillment is to be the change you want to see. So if you were inspired by anything that was said in this talk, please share it with your community so you can help us keep sharing this message. And join us next Manifest Monday. Peace.